Now this is interesting. It's the AIWF. And remember when we're looking at the NWA and the way people were sniping at each other and promoters who couldn't quite work together, this is the Allied Independent Wrestling Federation. And what they do is they have their own program, but they also say to other promotions, would you like to affiliate with us? And we will show your promotion. It's an interesting thing to do, and it's working together for independent wrestling. What it also does in this program, which is called Across the Globe, AIWF Across the Globe, you can find it on YouTube and all of that. What it does, though, is that it shows you different promotions, and there might be different quality in those promotions. So, RN Duke announces, he's all right, he's a bit echoey. But we start with Ring Wars from North Carolina. And Ring Wars is on, Ring Wars Wrestling is on YouTube if you want to have a look at this. And actually, I think I might, because this match ain't bad. Big versus small man match. So RJ Weaver, smaller of the two, but agile, folks, agile, versus Waco de Rustler. Rustler. W-R-U-S. He doesn't rustle cattle. That's a different thing. He doesn't rustle when he walks. He's not wearing a paper bag. He's a wrestler, but it's a U. So it's Waco de Rustler. Yeah. Anyway, the action's better than the name. The static camera, because is it a static camera? Is it? I think it's a hard cam. Makes the actually, I think they've got a hard cam and another one, which makes the ring look huge. You're mainly going to get the action from the hard cam here, but it is, as I say, a classic big versus small man. So you've got a Waco big shot, Weaver trying desperately to arm drag him and just can't do it because he tries to lift him, couldn't even shift him. Too big, you see. So Weaver then gets Waco then gets a drop kick. There is a counter Hurricane Rana from Weaver. And Waco bails and sells it's Weaver that bails and really sells it. Waco gets some punches from Weaver. He gets a punch in as Weaver dives through the ropes. I always like that. And then picks him up on the outside in the vertical suplex position, holds him for ages, and then drops him on the concrete, which has a very thin mat. And as the commentary team tell us, they're purely there for a bit of aesthetic quality. They will give you a little bit of something, but it's only small. And I have to say, it was because he's a big man, Waco. So that's a long drop down, big vertical suplex. Then back in the ring, a big knee from Waco, and he's doing all right. But Weaver's back with some chops. Walks into a Waco big boot and a very nice leg drop. That really was precisely done. It looked quite nasty, actually. Weaver then gets a crucifix, and you think, Waco's going to sit down on this. Doesn't. He gets him over for rather a long 2 count, actually. But Waco gets the power slam. There are some Weaver shots, though, and some clotheslines, which finally take Waco down. Then he picks him up and slams him. For a smaller man, that's fabulous. Weaver, though, goes to the top, comes off the top, tastes the knees, and there is a kind of choke. He's holding up in the choke or the goozle position. Backbreaker, which is horrible. It looks horrible, actually. It looks a bad move. It just looks really difficult to take for a Waco pin, and it wasn't bad at all. Now, here's an advert for some hot dogs with Jimmy Valiant. There's a group of people crowding in to a dressing room, and he's got a half-eaten hot dog on the table. Because that's what you do when you have a hot dog. You leave it half-eaten. You don't know, do you? Like, my wife can leave a chocolate bar uneaten. What? So anyway, they're crowding in, but they don't seem to be ready to attack him. They seem to be, hey, it's Jimmy Valiant, can we have your autograph? He then eats the hot dog and turns into a rather big wrestler who beats all those people up, who didn't seem to be having a nefarious situation. They seem to be just wanting To chat to Jimmy Valiant, it does seem like he beat them up for nothing. Anyway, it's a hot dog commercial, and I love that kind of stuff. Now, the next thing you're going to get is AIWF back in history, back in time. It's Shane Eden versus Hammerjack, and it's so badly edited that you can barely see it. Jumps all over the place. So you've got a cartwheel back elbow from Shane Eden. This is the stuff I picked up, and I was really looking, but there's a very poor Hammerjack boot. A moonsault off the top, which is nice. Or was it off the top? No, it was a moonsault, standing moonsault from Eden, but he goes to the top and he's pushed off the top. He runs in at the end and gets drop toe holdered onto a sledgehammer. The commentary team usefully explained this to me because I didn't see any kind of implement in the corner at all. Ref doesn't see it. There's your pin. It was very difficult to watch. But even if I had watched the whole thing and it was beautifully presented, I still don't think it would have been that good. Right, your final match. Yeah, it's from South Africa. It's Africa Wrestling Alliance. You can find it on YouTube, folks. It's for the All Africa title from Rumble 2024, not 1924. That would be totally different. We wouldn't be able to get a picture of that, would we? And it's the Oz who's the champion. It's big bloke in a boiler suit versus Mike Zander versus Johnny Palazzo. It's not a great match, folks. So here's some of the action. Oz comes off the top. No one is home. Oz and Zander then don't seem to like each other. They're in the corner fighting each other. The ref, who has a hard time throughout this match, tells them to stop, and they kind of look at him and then look at each other as if to say, I'm not keen on you. There are some Zander shots to Palazzo. A massive posting. That was huge. At one point, Palazzo is then on the floor, and Oz picks him up, not Palazzo, Zander is on the floor. Oz picks one of his legs up and slaps the calf. And the commentary team act as if that's a really big move. He just slapped his calf, folks. I mean, I'm sure that he extended it first and all of that, but I'd probably think, oh, that stings, but I don't think it would really bother me too much. Palazzo then goes for a hammerlock that he can't quite get hold of. He and Zander kind of fall to the mat, and there's mat work where no one can really get hold of anybody, to be honest. They're not really doing anything. Palazzo then tries to pick Oz up. He's on the floor. He refuses. No. And the ref is Palazzo looks at the ref as if to say, what's going on? The ref is saying, no, stay away. The idea is, and the commentary team don't explain this well enough, I don't think, that Oz has an injury. Zander then comes back in and attacks Palazzo. The ref saying, no, hang on a minute, there's a problem here. He's pushed away by Zander, if I remember rightly. Doesn't say, right, that's a DQ. No one puts their hands on a ref. He just carries on. The ref then allows Palazzo a shoulder breaker on Zander. And then Palazzo is then down for some reason. He's holding his tongue. I don't know what's going on. I don't know whether he's had a bad bagel. I don't know whether the hot dog. I'm not sure. I mean, he might have picked up Jimmy Valiant's half-eaten hot dog, and it could have been there for days. And then Oz rolls out, and the ref does the thing, the crossed arms. That's the injury sign, everybody, we're told. And then there's a sudden Palazzo roll-up on Zander, and the ref allows the pin. And he's your new All Africa champion. There's several things, aren't there? Several things. Why the ref didn't grab hold of this, I don't know. It's a triple threat, so there's no DQ. But that does not mean to say that the ref can't say, I'm DQing this because you don't put your hands on me. It's no DQ for the wrestlers, not the ref. You've got this injury to Oz, which might have been a real injury. It did look quite real when he was saying to Palazzo, don't pick me up, don't pick me up. Palazzo was a bit, what do I do now? And in all the kerfuffle, the ref has allowed the action to continue. Match should have been stopped, really. And Palazzo steals the victory. it doesn't really make Africa Wrestling Alliance look great, but I will go and have a look at this because I love independent wrestling, as you know. It's from Cape Town in South Africa, and that wasn't the best calling card for them. Not the best item to send to the AIWF, but the sentiment of the AIWF, giving you lots and lots of new stuff, pretty much like what Spinebuster Wrestling in Britain do, is a really good idea, and I heartily endorse that. It's just that some of the action will be variable. Actually, that'll be quite good to watch. Ta-ta.